Hello and welcome to Making Waves by Todderbert. If you enjoy kit building, making electronic circuits, and do-it-yourself projects, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us we have the Elecrow all-in-one starter kit for the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. It has 17 sensors and 21 coding lessons. You can find this retailing on their site for $37.99. At the making of this video, they had the price down to $32.29, representing a cool bargain for what it offers. So let's look at what we have here. Elecrow all-in-one starter kit for Pico 2. Why am I reviewing this on my channel for radios? Well, a lot of radios nowadays are coming with little microcontrollers built into them, such as the ATS Mini or the older ATS 20 Plus. This has an Arduino in it. This has an ESP32. It's just some cool technology happening with these microcontrollers. I figured, well, this would be pretty cool to learn how to code. So I thought I'd represent this on the channel. So yeah, that's why I did it, because these radios are a lot of fun, and you kind of want to know how they're coded and what's working on the insides. Well, why not get started with learning how to program a microcontroller, and then you might be able to understand what's happening with your radios, and maybe even build your own radio, which we'll talk about. That'll be fun. So yeah, here we are with the Elecrow. It's pretty cool. What I like about it, it's like a little briefcase style. I thought that was the neatest thing. It's all in this little self-contained box. Pretty neat. On the right-hand side of the box, we got a USB-C data port. This powers the unit and also will flash it. So use this to program your Pico 2. Awesome. It's hinged in the back there, up in the bottom. And you can see here in the front there, has a little fun stuff, STEAM education. So yeah, right away, it's cool. We open it up. It's got two little buckles in front here with the handle. And when it's closed, dimension-wise, we'll go over here in a second, but we'll just open up, take a peek. So yeah, there we go. We got a white PCB. I really like how it's laid out. All your sensors are connected to the Raspberry Pi Pico on the board. There is no wiring involved, which is nice. It gets you right into coding, right into playing with what's available to you. Though, it takes a little while to set this up. You have to be a little experienced with Arduino's IDE programming. So if you're not sure with that, just hopefully follow along here a little bit. And if there's any questions, you can always pop in the comment section. I'll try to help you out and get you started. I'm in no way a master of coding myself. I'm learning as I go. I just found this product. I thought it'd be fun for me. And then, of course, share it with you guys. So yeah, pretty cool layout, as you can see here. It's got a color, 2.4 color touchscreen, which is really neat, which we'll get to see in a second, and various components. So let's close this back up, give you an idea for dimensions. When it's closed up and you're taking it around, it's easy to carry. It's really lightweight. It's 7 3/4 inches in length. We have a height of 6 3/4 inches and a thickness of 1 3/4 inch. So just to give you an idea, you know, I always have a portable radio on hand, CC pocket. You get the idea. This is neat because it's like a travel kit. You can take it anywhere you want to go, as long as you have a laptop or computer to program it. You might even be able to use a phone or Android device. I haven't seen that. I saw him doing some kind of serial, so we're sending small code to it. That's kind of neat. But that's pretty in-depth. I'm not going to get that far with this. But deck of cards. Yeah, it's Iron Man. He's the man with the master plan. He can program it like no one can. You get the idea. It's fun. All right, great. There's a lot to get into here. I don't know what I'm going to cover. We're just going to have some fun. So anyway, you open it up, and you can see, I'm going to kind of zoom this down a little bit so you can see what's going on component-wise. So I mentioned that there's 17 sensors, so let's go over some of the stuff you got there. So I don't know how close I can get to the camera. Probably not super close, but as you can see, we've got a servo motor, and it's giving you the GPIO that it's hooked up to. It's on pin 13. Kind of nice there. It tells you where it's hooked up, so you can actually do your own programming. If you don't want to follow along with their coding, you can build your own code, which I think is fantastic. You got the buzzer. You got a vibration motor there. Okay, you can see those 3 sensors. We got this screen, touch screen. You can actually learn how to program the screen. Thought that was neat. There's all the little connections there on top. Just going through, zoom in on that, get the idea, right? Cool. Over here we have a light sensor, hall sensor, a relay circuit, which I thought was pretty neat. Little terminals you can hook up to and run a relay. A gas sensor, a sound sensor with a microphone there, and you got looks like an adjustable potentiometer there you can adjust for sensitivity. Temperature humidity sensor, awesome. Accelerometer, gyro. We have a ranging sensor, which I'm going to show here in a second. We got the main Raspberry Pi Pico 2 chip right there, the RP2350, which is pretty awesome. And you got 20 RGB color LEDs. What I like about the setup here is you got a boot, which comes on a standard Pico 2, but then they added a reset button, which makes it really handy because you don't have to disconnect the power to flash the chip. LED on and off switch if you don't want to run these LEDs. And over here we got a touch sensor. I thought that was neat. And then we have four switches for 4-way movement. Kind of neat for some games. And then you have LEDs there, like traffic light style. Over here we have an infrared sensor, a linear slider, nice potentiometer. So very cool. So let's power it on, see what it looks like. So when you first get it, you can get started right away and have some fun with the device without even having to hook up to the computer. So that's nice. Just plug it in. Kind of gives you a demo of what the Raspberry Pi Pico can do. This is all running off of that little Raspberry Pi Pico. So to give you an idea, a little background with the Raspberry Pi Pico 2, it's the second iteration of the Pico series. It is a dual-core Cortex M33 chip, or I think it has 2 other cores, Hazard 3 cores. You can use either one if you get really in-depth with it, but you'll probably be using the M33s. They're very efficient, and it runs at speeds up to 150 megahertz, which is not fast when you consider the PC you're running, but for a microcontroller, it's pretty neat. It does a lot of stuff. So, yeah, and it has 520 kilobytes of SRAM and 4 megabytes of flash memory. So not a lot of flash memory, but again, it's a microcontroller. It's made for dedicated tasks. So if you want to build a weather station that reads temperature and humidity all the time for you outside, you can build like a little outside weather station and have this as your device. And, you can have it sending you the data. So it's a really neat setup. So this one here is just kind of introductory to what the Pico 2 can do. I like that for this. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I can go over. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi Pico 2 is different than the Arduinos. The Arduino is where you hook it up to the PC and it automatically writes to the Arduino. This one here is a little different. You have to enter a boot mode, which is kind of like a drag and drop, which is really nice if you're just moving files to flash right to it via just your USB to your, like a hard drive. It's like a little mini hard drive. It's kind of neat. Just drag and drop, and then it flashes automatically. That's kind of what the Arduino IDE will do once you've compiled your code. It'll send it, it'll actually disconnect, and you'll have to do your little boot and reset. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I want to get too in-depth. Let's have some fun. So here we're greeted with atmospheric lights. It's a style 1, style 2, style 3. I don't know if we can see that on the camera. I'm trying to get that to see there. There you go. And if we hit this button, touch screen, there you go. You can see it's going to play with these lights, and it's neat. You can actually edit this and do different things with these lights if you want to. But this is just demoing of what this is capable of. Here's some more lighting. This is just a fun little thing that they've included with this. You'll eventually not be using this main menu thing. You'll be using your own, just a blank screen, probably just working with sensors. Yeah, and I'll be doing a little examples of that. I think we showed them all, right? Yeah, I think that was all of them. That gives you an idea. It's just a fun little RGB pixel type. All right, so we got course learning. It usually says empty here. Let's not worry about this course learning thing, but I will show you what this one's loaded up with here in a moment. Mini games. You got mini games on here. This is for the kids, so they can just have fun playing with it until you start to introduce them to programming. Personally, this is for an instructor-based versus a student-based. If you just hand this to somebody that has no clue, they'll never figure this thing out. It's pretty difficult. You got to be pretty tech-savvy. You got to know how to navigate things and how to move files and different things. We'll talk about that. But mini games fun. You got like a little dinosaur game. Let's load up this little dinosaur and you touch the screen, you jump over to cactuses. Something fun to kill time with. And yeah, I'm not very good. It says game over already. But yeah, it's got little big games. It shows what the Pico 2 can do. I do like this. Nice. So you can design your own games. Yeah. I don't think I'll be doing that. This is just so you understand how to maybe build your own radio. And I'm going to link to that, either in my comment section or in iCards, to this Raspberry Pi Pico 2 running a radio. Actually, the heart of a radio build that I saw on YouTube was pretty awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, you get a kick out of it. So I think you touch the bottom here and it gives you this touch screen. There you go. Just drag up. It's got like a phone in a way. Return, and then we got bouncing ball and snake free. I'm not going to play the other ones. They're kind of, they're just little fun little mini games you can play around with. That just comes preloaded. When you start to flash your own stuff, it'll disappear. So there's that. So let's go to the course learning. We're just going to show you the ultrasonic ranging. This is number 7, lesson 7. I'm just going to show you what it does. So I'm going to hit this button, and it's showing you distance to my camera. If I put my hand here, it should lower that amount, centimeters. I think it goes all the way down to a measurement around 2 centimeters. I think it's as close as it will read. And again, it's picking up the top of my camera there. It's pretty cool. So up here, it's around 25-ish. Closer to the camera, almost gonna smack it. You get the idea, right? Button. There you go. It takes you back there. Now, there's only one lesson there. You can't add more lessons to this thing because this only has limited memory. Remember that? This is mainly just a demo. So what you're going to see is when you add your code is it's going to just go to a blank screen and you're just going to be doing little tasks. With the sensors, you're not going to have a screen all the time for all your projects. So just something to keep in mind when you're playing around with this kit. So let's unplug this, talk a little bit about how to set this thing up, because I'll tell you what, when I first got this thing was horrible to set up. I did not like it setting it up. It was a drag. I was looking at YouTube videos on how to set this up. I was listening to an auto-dubbed Spanish-speaking individual who had this and was really upset with the setup procedure and kind of talked about how he had to fix it. So we'll get right into it and give you an idea how to set this up. So let me unplug this, because if you buy this and you're sitting there going, Todderbert, I can't get this thing to work, well, I'll help you out here. So close this up. We're going to bring out the iPad here. The screen's got a little different color, but it's normal. Just this colors. Okay, so you can download this from their website, which is nice. This is the user manual. Now they've updated this, which is good, because when I first got this, they didn't have this new updated user manual. So this is really handy. And let me tell you, you need this. It's getting started is important here, and it has all the different lessons here, as you can see. Nice. And I like that. And they kind of explain what the lesson is doing, and they show a little bit of code about that lesson. So what you want to do is they're going to talk to you about setting up the Arduino IDE, which is the programming service. There's actually better ways. I actually saw another video where the gentleman actually was a teacher, and he was using MicroPython. You can do that with this kit as well, and he did that with his kit. He was able to use a different code with it. So, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to just give you some ideas. So you install it on your computer, whatever computer you have, Apple, Windows, whatever. So this is important right here. Okay, so you need, for the Arduino, this is usually used for Arduinos, right? Arduino IDE. It's not usually meant for Raspberry Pi Picos, but it does support it if you know how to set it up. So right here, it's asking you how to do it. So we're going to add a development board, which is a Pico 2, and it shows you preferences. You can kind of zoom in there. Okay, you're going to do the preferences, and you're going to add this link here. Now, this is important, this link right here. If I get that to come up here. This link right here. And that link will be pasted in this little spot in your Arduino, in the settings, and it's down here, additional board manager URL, and you put the URL into there. You copy paste that URL into that spot right there, that options, and then, yeah, gets fun, huh? Because it took me a while to figure this out. And then you're able to pick on the left side, it'll have like a board manager, and it'll have different versions. There's a little drop-down window here. You click the little drop-down window, it'll say Raspberry Pi 2040. I think it's this one here. It's kind of blurry in these pictures. These pictures aren't great, but if I can zoom in a little bit. And you want the 4.20. They have higher versions, 4.53 as you can see, but you don't want that one. You want the 4.20. That's the one you want if you're fresh installing this. Remember that. And then, of course, when you choose the board, you're choosing the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. Don't choose the Adafruit one. They have an Adafruit one in here that are showing, but it works with the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. One guy couldn't get his to work unless he chose the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. Mine worked both ways, but I'd recommend picking the official Raspberry Pi Pico 2. All right, so then we're talking about how to use the Arduino program to program your board. Okay, and then here's a little bit about the course usage instructions. This is just like your basic demo thing. Again, this is pretty much for instructors, I think. So here we are, lesson 1, LED control. Okay, pretty neat. And then what they'll have here, other important things setting up. And I don't know why it's down here, actually. They're giving you code and stuff you can change. Pretty neat. They'll talk about the loop. You know, if this is equal to this, do this. And your little lights will flash. Pretty fun. Yeah. So you'll learn how to code with this, definitely. So definitely go through here, but I'm trying to find it now. I don't know why they buried it here. So the important thing is you have to know a few things before you set this up. This program uses libraries. So you'll download all these files from this Elecrow, and when you'll go to start up your thing, it'll say library missing. And you have to copy the third-party libraries that Elecrow provides to the Arduino's IDE folder. So there's a folder. You have to learn how to do that. So right in here it talks about where that's at. So I don't know what page we're on, but you get the idea. Here we are. So it's going to tell you which board to choose and shows you to press and hold the boot button on the board. While pressing, you hold the reset button, and then let go of the reset button while still holding the boot button, and then release the boot button. That's how you enter the flash mode. I know it's a little complicated, but once you get the idea, it's pretty much like resetting without unplugging the Arduino. So, I mean the Pico. So here's your Pico 2. These are chips that you can buy. $5 a piece. Yay! And you can actually start wiring if you're into soldering and doing your own kits. But with this one here, you only get the one button. This is the boot button. And you press and hold the button, and you plug the power in, and then you let the boot button go. It's the same thing as doing boot, reset, let go of the reset, and let go of the boot. That's the neat thing about the all-in-one kit that this doesn't have. I wish those chips had it, but here nor there, right? So anyway, getting to this, it gets the cam more difficult. So let's go ahead and, it's going to choose the COM port. So you got to make sure what COM port you're on. Look at your settings and look at where your COM port is for your device. Choose the right one. Okay, which port it is. Okay, mine's like 5 or 6 typically. The board, again, you're going to choose Raspberry Pi Pico 2. You could try this Adafruit one, but to be honest with you, just try to do the other one instead. Because it worked for me. And it worked for everything I was doing, so awesome. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what else to mention. The libraries. Yeah, libraries. Where is the libraries? They do talk about moving libraries here. So yeah, you'll compile your code, and when you're in that boot mode, it compiles it and it sends it, and it automatically puts it into the Raspberry Pi Pico drive. This is the drive, and then it automatically flashes, which is nice. And it'll come up with your finished project. So here's more things going on. Here's a fun little thing. And there is a spot where it tells you about moving the libraries as well. And I'm trying to find that for you because we're spending some time here on this kit. I'm just going to do an overall impression. We'll do a couple little demos, and then we'll just wrap it up. But you can see, you can learn quite a bit from just going through here and figuring this out. I think we're waiting for a library to come into play here. Maybe here with the screen. Maybe we can get something going on here. Just looking, here we go. So there it is. So this is what you need to know. You're just going to move them all over. That they provide you the libraries to the navigate example libraries, and you're going to move all that over to the Arduino's IDE libraries. So they tell you how to do it here in lesson 4, I think it was. So there you go. That's all we're going to do with that. So I'm just going to set this aside. Let's go back to the kit. Yeah. I know I bogged down a little bit, but hey, you got to have some fun. I got to tell you how to do it, because if you don't know how to do that part, you're done. You're not going to have any fun with this thing. So, yeah, what we're going to do here is we're going to just, I'm going to kind of fade to black, and I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to have a couple demos. We're going to demo probably the temperature and humidity sensor, maybe another one here, to give you an idea. Just a little fun projects and kind of what you can expect out of the kit, and we'll do final thoughts. So let's go ahead and fade to black. I'll bring up an example demo or two, and then we'll do final thoughts. All right. Okay, we're going to demo lesson 10. This is temperature and humidity detection system. So if we look at the iPad here, you can see we're in lesson 10 using that sensor. Pretty awesome. So upload the code to the Pico 2, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Talks about what's going on here, what's going to happen. It's going to use the sensor, and it's going to display the output to the screen. And it's talking about a lot of stuff you probably don't understand now, but we'll understand later on maybe. So as you go and learn about coding your project. Very cool. But the complete code's right there in the example Pico Arduino code section of the GitHub. And that's the link right there. So let's go check it out. So we got it sitting here with no power. So I just have a power source. I don't have a computer on my bench here. So otherwise I'd just be programming it and show you how to do that. But we're just going to keep it simple. Plug this in. Show you what it does. There you go. So it's displaying humidity percentage. And then we have temperature in Celsius. And it's coming from right here. I don't know if this will go up if I put my hand on here. Maybe it will. It's got kind of like a shroud. But yeah, it gives you an idea what's going on. I'm just gonna trying to warm it up. But it's using that temperature sensor there. Humidity went up. That's interesting. Cool. Should start to change as we're sitting here as it samples it. Very simple. But yeah, it just shows you the power of the Pico, what you can do with it. It can run multiple things. You know, this is only using a few of the pins. You have a lot of extra pins available for doing other tasks as well, because this thing is rocking at 150 megahertz if you want to go that fast. You can also throttle it down to do power saving projects as well. So, but there's no touch sensor to take you back. There's no main menu. This is it. This is what it's about. You're programming the sensors and you're getting a result with your screen or with what, the LEDs lighting up, some kind of feedback, servo motor moving, vibration, just the exterior sensors doing their work. And then, the ability to show them here on the screen. That little demo thing is gone. It's not on here. If you find yourself going, oh, I want that back, there's a file there provided on the GitHub page where you put it into boot mode, which is boot. Hit reset, let go reset while holding boot still, let go of boot. It enters that mass drive storage. You just click and drag the file over. It automatically flash the Pico 2 back to that factory firmware that you saw there in the beginning. So pretty neat. Let's go to the next one. Okay, our second and final demo, just going to keep it simple. We are on lesson 2. I went backwards. So we started out with the humidity sensor, and now we're going to go to these 3 LEDs and these buttons. So what it is lesson 2, and it's called Button Control LED. And they did a pretty decent job on this PDF file, by the way. So there you go. They labeled the switches, so you know in the code how they're wired up. Kind of neat. They give the working principle, what's going on. Yeah, so a lot of cool stuff. And you can zoom in. Again, it's a PDF file, which is nice. And yeah, we're going to play around with switching on and off the LEDs with the switches. The microcontroller's handling all this. This is important. If you're making switches for your radio to access bandwidth information, this is what you're going to need to know. How to use switches. So pretty cool. All right. So here we are, and it has initialization, what's happening, and your loop logic. Yeah, that's a lot to learn. It's not as hard. There's another gentleman who does a 4-hour, he has a 4-hour thing about programming Pico and Pico 2. They kind of work side by side. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. That guy, I'll try to link him as well. I've been watching it, and you learn quite a bit. You may not be able to do it all with this kit, but you'll be able to follow along, get an idea of what that coding is doing. You might be able to apply it to what you have available to you on this board. So let's plug it in, show you what it's doing. Very simple. And we'll wrap it up with some final thoughts. So I'm plugging it in, so it's plugged in. We got the ready light with the Pico, if you can see that little green light. Okay, it says we're ready to go. And we'll go over here, and we're going to tap some buttons. So this should turn them all on, I think. There you go. So you got red, yellow, green. Hit it again. Turn it off. That's that 0 button. They call that 0, I believe. Here, if you hit this button, turns the red one on. Hit it again, turns it off. Middle. So you get the idea, right? So each switch will control each one of these. So you could hold on, I don't know if you can do, you can't do both at once. So you could do that. You turn them on like this. Any order you see fit. That's pretty nice. And then here, on and off, all of them. So yeah, just a neat way of showing you how the switches work with the LEDs. Simple, fun, but learning to master that's a pretty big deal. How these switches are wired to the Pico, how the LEDs are wired to the Pico. Yeah, very simple. Cool, fun little demos. So you're in for a treat. There's a lot more involved, a lot more in depth. And I'll probably revisit this kit in the future as well as I learn to program and maybe do some fun things that they didn't intend this kit to do. That might be interesting, right? So, okay, let's go to final thoughts. Okay, those were cool demos. Hopefully you enjoyed those. I forgot to mention, you do get this controller. This is to use with the infrared sensor to some of the projects. Neat, huh? So input device, and then of course you get the data cable here, USB to USB-C, and you get a couple of servo arms if you need to have a little fun with that servo. I don't know if you'll use these or not, but they give them to you, which is nice. So there you are for the money. Hopefully we got a little start and you got a little basic idea how this thing works. All the links in the description. Trust me, you'll need them. And if you have any questions, definitely comment and I will get you started. I'll get you going at least. And then when it comes to coding, it's all up to you. So yeah, I mean, these things are going to be great. This is a lot of fun. I'm telling you, you can buy these chips for like $5 a piece and you can do a lot with them. They even have ones with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built into them if you want that. These don't here. And those cost, I think, $2 more. So if you want those and you want to start wiring something that relays wirelessly, and you got something outside, you got a solar charged device, and this thing's running it, it's kind of fun. You can be wireless with it. So very neat. But yeah, and you get started. You can build your own radio with this too as well. So hopefully you'll get a kick out of that. And maybe you will. Maybe you'll be one of those guys that does it and get started with something like this kit. But yeah, let's talk about what I like, what I dislike, and my overall opinion. So I like the compact design. I like the all the components are pre-wired, ready to go. That is fantastic. It's Pico 2 microcontroller. It's pretty powerful. So yeah, starting out with this thing is pretty amazing. Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit on the follow-up on that. I do like the fact that it can run all the stuff it's running. I mean, it runs games and everything. It's absolutely amazing what you can do with the programming. And learning Arduino IDE programming, learning the C, C++, learning how to program in C is pretty cool because it's been around a long time and that's a lot of fun. And then you can take that and you can use it anywhere in programming. You'll enjoy it. USB-C connection, that's nice because I think these are using still micro USB, believe it or not. Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It's a new chip, but yeah, I wish it had USB-C, but it doesn't. Oh well. I like the 20 RGBs. That's nice. I mean, it's just a nice little added feature. They didn't have to do that, but they did. I like it. It looks like fun. And then, of course, the company continues to upgrade documentation. Now, that's important. This company wants us to be successful. I like that. They could have just gave up and let it go, but they actually have updated it. So kudos to them for continuing to update their documentation and making this fun and enjoyable. Dislikes and wants. I'll tell you what, this is not for the beginner with zero knowledge. You get this thing and you have no idea about computers and anything. This isn't for you. Don't buy this. This is for somebody who wants to learn microcontroller programming and has a decent amount of knowledge on computers and how to set things up and how to look for things and how to copy paste URLs, how to add things to a program, things like that, and understanding how, what files are doing and how to do searches if they don't know what's happening, how to search something. Like, how come this isn't working? If you know how to do a good search, then you'll find your answer. If you don't know how to do anything like that with this, then you're going to want to skip this. But it's tough. But if you are inclined and you have a little bit of electronics background, you're going to enjoy this kit. It is a lot of fun because, again, you don't have to worry about connecting anything. It's all ready to go, and you can start coding, getting serious. So that's awesome. What I do wish this had, my wants, is an easier to understand code lessons for kids, like the S.T.E.M, where they just have like the little click and drag actions. That'd be kind of fun if they had something like that for this kit. They don't. They go right into the hard mode of programming in C. They're not even starting off with like simple little string commands. I don't know if it's MicroPython or something like that. There's some Donnie. I think it's Donnie maybe. There's a really easy way to program the Raspberry Pi Pico 2 and make it fun for kids. So that would be nice if they added that to this kit. I think they're working towards that. Definitely. So overall, it's a fun kit for those with some knowledge. But otherwise, starting out, you might want to think about the Arduino kits out there. That might be the better choice for you. So it does get recommended by if you like the Pico 2 chip and you're looking into it and you do want to build a radio one day with it, which I really want to. I'm going to look into doing it. I'm going to study it more, and I may build a radio. Todderbert's first Pico 2 control radio. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give a big like if you did. Definitely check out the paid link section if this device kind of appeals to you. I mean, it might for a lot of people because, again, there's no jumpers. There's no playing around with components and losing them. The only thing about this is that once you are doing your things, you can't really take the chip and move it to something else. It's stuck here. So it'll just be your learning base, which isn't bad. It's all in one spot. You're not going to lose anything. It's all in one spot. It's all together. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comment section down below. If you have any questions, again, comment and I will answer. I will try to save the files, but I don't know if I can share them. Some of these files are rather large, but I'll definitely have the links to the GitHub page where all the files are there, and you can download them at your leisure, and you can check this out even before you buy it and see if it's for you. Definitely think about that as well. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next awesome video.